What if I told you that the world's youngest billionaire started with a simple college prank that got him kicked out of his dorm? What if that same prank would eventually connect 3 billion people worldwide and make him one of the most powerful men on Earth? But here's the twist. It almost never happened. Stay tuned, because Mark Zuckerberg's real story will shock you. Hey, everyone, before we dive into this incredible journey that changed the world forever, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss what happens next. And if this story blows your mind like it did mine, smash that like button. Now, let's uncover the truth behind Facebook's creation. Picture this. It's 2003, and 19-year-old Mark Zuckerberg is sitting in his Harvard dorm room, nursing a broken heart. His girlfriend had just dumped him, and he was angry. But instead of crying into his pillow like most college students, Mark did something that would change history forever. He created a website called FaceMash, basically a hot or not site for Harvard students. But here's where it gets crazy. He hacked into Harvard's student database to get the photos. Within hours, the site crashed Harvard's network because 22,000 students were voting on who was hotter. The administration was furious. Mark faced expulsion, lawsuits, and campus-wide backlash. Most people would have given up right there. But not Mark. This failure planted a seed that would grow into something nobody saw coming. Just months after the FaceMash disaster, Mark had an idea. What if instead of rating people, he created a platform where students could actually connect? On February 4th, 2004, at 7 p.m., Mark launched the Facebook from his dorm room. But here's what nobody tells you. Facebook almost died that very first night. The servers crashed within hours because too many students were trying to sign up. Mark and his roommate Eduardo Saverin had to scramble to keep it running with their limited college budget. Within 24 hours, 1,200 Harvard students had signed up. Within a week, half of Harvard's undergraduate population was on the platform. But the real shocker? Mark didn't even think it would last beyond college. He was planning to shut it down after graduation. By the end of February 2004, Facebook had spread to Stanford, Columbia, and Yale. But Mark faced a problem that would haunt him for years. He was being sued by his own classmates. The Winklevoss twins claimed Mark stole their idea when they hired him to work on their own social network called Harvard Connection. This legal battle would drag on for years and cost Mark millions. But that wasn't even his biggest challenge. The real test came when Mark had to make the hardest decision of his life. Stay at Harvard and play it safe, or drop out and move to Silicon Valley with no guarantee of success. His parents are horrified. His professors thought he was throwing his life away. Even Eduardo, his co-founder, was having second thoughts. But Mark saw something others didn't. He realized Facebook wasn't just a college novelty. It was the future of human connection. So in May 2004, he made the leap. Mark moved to Palo Alto with $1,000 in his pocket and a dream. He rented a small house and convinced his friends to join him. But Silicon Valley was brutal. Bigger companies like MySpace were dominating social media, and investors were skeptical of a 20-year-old college dropout. Then came the moment that would define Facebook forever. Sean Parker, the founder of Napster, knocked on their door. He saw Facebook's potential and introduced Mark to his first major investor, Peter Thiel, who gave them $500,000. But here's the crazy part. Mark almost turned down the money. He was so focused on user experience that he didn't want investors pressuring him to monetize too quickly. This decision would later prove to be genius. By 2005, Facebook had expanded beyond colleges to high schools, then to everyone. But Mark's biggest challenge wasn't technical. It was personal. The success was changing him, and the pressure was immense. The Winklevoss lawsuit was still ongoing, employees were quitting, and Mark was working 100-hour weeks. At one point, he was so stressed that he couldn't sleep for days. Many thought he would crack under the pressure. But then something incredible happened. In 2006, Yahoo offered to buy Facebook for $1 billion. Mark was just 22 years old. His board members, investors, and even his own employees urged him to take the deal. Mark said no. Everyone thought he was insane. How could a 22-year-old turn down $1 billion? But Mark had a vision that nobody else could see. Mark's gamble paid off beyond anyone's wildest dreams. By 2012, Facebook went public with a valuation of $104 billion. The company that started in a dorm room was now worth more than most countries' entire economies. But success came with a price. Mark faced congressional hearings, privacy scandals, and constant scrutiny. The shy college student had become one of the most powerful and controversial figures in the world. Today, Facebook, now called Meta, connects over 3 billion people worldwide. Mark's net worth has reached over $100 billion, making him one of the richest people on Earth. But here's what most people don't know. The real secret to Mark's success wasn't his coding skills or business acumen. It was his willingness to make decisions that seemed crazy to everyone else. Turning down Yahoo's billion-dollar offer, fighting the Winklevoss lawsuit for years, dropping out of Harvard. These weren't reckless moves. They were calculated risks based on a vision that only he could see, and that vision? That the future of humanity would be built on connection, not just information. While others saw Facebook as a college fad, Mark saw it as the foundation for how humans would interact in the digital age. Mark Zuckerberg's journey proves that sometimes the biggest risks lead to the greatest rewards. From a heartbroken college student to a global tech titan, his story shows us that failure isn't the end, it's just the beginning. What do you think? Was Mark a visionary genius or just incredibly lucky? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if this story inspired you to think differently about taking risks, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible success stories that will change how you see the world. Trust me, next video will blow your mind even more. Until then, keep dreaming big